Shalom Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the balance of our apostles, the elders, a great millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that's put this great gospel in sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the great millstone, Indianapolis camp, coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord willing to be edified. Got an article from the New York Times, and it reads, Elon Musk hopes to test a charagma, I catch myself, in humans next year. It says the tech multi-billionaire said his company Neuralink was seeking government approval to test his device in people and predicted it could happen in 6 months. Others have been conducting similar tests for years, but no device has been marketed commercially, right? And they've been doing these. There's definitely other companies, we got like Synchron, VivoKey, there's definitely a lot of other companies that have these devices that they have been testing, and some people have already purchased them and actually have these devices, whether it be in their brain or one of their hands. As this prophecy say will happen. This article came out November 30th, 2022, the year Yahweh Bashim Ashai turned it up. And it reads, in the presentation showcasing the Neuralink implant that Elon Musk hopes will someday connect the human brain to a computer, 2 monkeys were reportedly moving computer cursors with their brains. The feat was first documented by others in a human in 2006 in the pre-YouTube era, and with technology that is far more cumbersome, mooring patients to a computer with a cord. Mr. Musk's presentation on Wednesday night offered little that was significantly new from previous demonstrations of the device. He continued to claim that the implant could make computer control possible for people with paralysis outside of a lab setting. But experts in the field question whether the demonstration showed major progress with the device, especially given the breadth of work underway nationwide. These are incremental advances, Daniel Yoshur, a neurosurgeon and neuroscientist at the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania, who has worked with similar devices, said after watching the presentation, the hardware is impressive but does not represent a dramatic advance in restoring or enhancing brain function. Neuralink's engineering work is an important advice, he added, but the results shown by the company were not as important. The company does not have approval from the Food and Drug Administration to sell the device. But what I will say is I did, before they took my main page down, that I believe it was either in 2004 or 2006 that the FDA already approved for said charagma or devices to be installed that was allowed to be installed into human beings. It had already been approved. That's why they bringing up the FDA anyway. Linking it together, say Mr. Musk said on Wednesday that the company has submitted most of its paperwork to the agency to seek permission to implant its device in a human. He predicted a test in humans in 6 months, but any step toward trials in people would be up to the FDA after a full evaluation of the risk of surgical implantation and safety of the device. Neuralink originally scheduled the event for the end of October before Mr. Musk, a multi-billionaire, postponed the presentation amid one of the more chaotic months of his career. He recently completed his off-again and on-again purchase of Twitter, which has commanded much of his attention and generated considerable controversy over management of the social media company. It says, and this is showing like the diagram of how where it would be implanted at if you get it in your brain if you receive it from Neuralink. Right? It's June. But they say, while Mr. Musk juggles that and other duties, he also oversees the electric car maker Tesla and the rocket company SpaceX. Neuralink is emerging from a period of change. Last year, Max Hodak, the company's president and one of its co-founders, left to launch his own venture in the field. Neuralink's chief executive is officially Jared Birchall, the wealth manager who runs Mr. Musk's family office. Wednesday night's presentation focused on the Link device, which resembles an inch-wide stack of several coins with hundreds of hair-thin threads. A surgical robot will cut a hole in the skull and slip the electrode threads into a gray matter of the brain, according to Mr. Musk's 2020 company presentation. The coin-like piece will sit flush with the skull. Leaders in the field of brain-computer interface technology have been closely watching Neuralink's investment in a device that operated without protruding wires or hardware. Yet Mr. Musk's presentation thus far have concerned and underwhelmed many of them. A 2021 Neuralink presentation of a monkey playing the video game Pong with his mind was similar to a primate demonstration at Brown University in 2001, though it had a far clunkier system. In 2020, presentation showcasing the pig with the implant, Mr. Musk suggested the device could solve conditions including paralysis and insomnia and could even give a user superhuman vision. Such applications sound like a science fiction to scientists who are singularly focused on restoring brain functions like typing, speaking, or lifting a fork, to those who have lost them after a spinal cord injury or a dire diagnosis. For such patients, the benefits weigh favorably against the small but serious risk of brain surgery. No one is talking about implanting able-bodied people, said Cindy Chastek, an associate professor of biomedical engineering at the University of Michigan, whose lab is working on restoring functions to amputees. So this is what they're gonna say right now. It's not for everybody. It's not for those who are able. It's just for those who are, who suffer from paralysis or suffer from this, and we're just trying to restore the ability that they lost. So what they're gonna do is try to convenience it. Yeah, you're gonna get a little pushback from here and there for such things to be certain to people, whatever the case may be. But you gotta understand, man, this is all prophecy. So no matter what the pushback may be, no matter what the negative feedback may be, hey, trust and believe it's gonna come to pass that the MOTB is gonna be instituted to the whole entire earth. So no matter what they may say, that they may go on back and forth and they're not seeing eye to eye with it, hey, this is part of the Lord's prophecy for it to come to pass. Right? So don't listen to it's not for everybody. Trust me, it will be. As the scripture say, trust Yahweh Shemel Shai. Right? It say on Wednesday night, Mr. Musk's plans for his device included making a blind see and giving someone with a severed spinal cord full body functionality. The claims drew applause from the audience but do not reflect the state of the field. I would not say that with confidence, Dr. Yoshar said after Mr. Musk had claimed the Neuralink device would give sight to people who have never seen before. I would be highly unsure of this kind of device in a patient with congenital blindness. Safety will be the FDA's primary concern in considering whether the device could be tested in humans, said Kristen Well, an associate professor of neuroscience at the University of Colorado, who helped draft FDA guidance on brain-computer implants before leaving the agency in 2016. Dr. Wells said regulators will focus on whether the device will damage the brain or present unreasonable risk to patients. She said device durability will also be considered, given the potential for brain fluids to eat through insulation, coating the hundreds of hair-like electrodes on the Link device. So far, Neuralink has tested the device on sheep, pigs, and primates, according to record filed with the agricultural department. Several other companies and scientists have already obtained approval from the FDA to study similar devices in humans. In 2004, researchers conducted human trials with the Utah Array, a device the size of a baby aspirin and fitted with spikes that is surgically placed on the brain. It connects through a wire to a small computer installed on the head that transmits to a computer. This neural interface system is called BrainGate. So like I said, in 2004, they already approved that it was cool for this to be used in people, right? So I believe that's going right back to that. They say with the pieces in place, scientists seek patterns in the electrical current of neurons that signal the brain's intention to type letters or lift a hand. The code, in turn, commands a computer or a robot to perform the task. Nearly 36 patients had undergo testing with the Utah Array device. Using the technology, people with paralysis or other disabilities have lifted a cinnamon latte with a robotic arm in 2011, typed letters quoting Shakespeare in 2012, and lifted forkfuls of mashed potatoes in 2016. But the Utah Array is not suited to long-term use. It rises up out of the skull, teeters user to a cord linked to a computer, and exposes them to the risk of a brain infection. For these and other reasons, companies like Neuralink are working to build devices that are fully implanted. That's why you hear about this much money, like Biden, like the Senate have approved this much money for, chip making and so forth and so on. Like they approved this, and then all these semiconductor companies and all this is going to lead to the prophecy of Yahweh Shemel Shai going into the MOTB. So go back to the top of this is what Elon Musk hopes to test a brain Karagba in humans next year, right? And this is what we're headed into. That's why you got those CBDCs be put into place. All this digital currency and all this and that, because this is going to be a thing that's going to link you to the Internet of Things to make everything be done in the digital world, so to speak. That's what they was talking about, what, doing away with cash. They said they're supposed to be doing away with cash in, what, December 13th? So what, about, what's that, about maybe, what, 4 days? So, we'll see. But nonetheless, this is what this, getting straight to the point, this is what this is all leading to, whether you believe it or not. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So ultimately, it don't matter what your status is in the world, on earth, or whatever the case may be. No matter if you got this much money, you got that much money, whether you be poor, or you this, or you famous, or you infamous, whatever the case may be, it says he gonna cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or their foreheads. And let's go into this real quick and go back to the word charagma or charagma, depending on how you say it. And you got to understand that this is an actual physical thing, a device, right? It says, a scratch or etching, a stamp as a badge of servitude, right? If the sun was just imaginary, how would you know that this person is serving this or serving that or it belongs to this if it's not an actual thing that you can see or have, right? It's not an actual physical thing, so to speak. So it says or a sculpted figure, statue, or a graven or a mark. It's a stamp and imprinted mark. The A one's bugged out because the Antichrist. There's many Antichrists, but they say the mark branded upon horses. A mark branded upon horses is a physical thing that you see. So this is what you're going to be saying, that you belong to Esau Edom if you consent to this man's, when he institute the MOTB out to the entire world, because it's going to go into the entire earth, and we're going to get that precept as well. A thing carved, right? A thing carved is not imaginary; it's an actual physical thing carved. And it's going to be like ultimately carving within your skin to inject this through the karak. So going back to the root word of charagma, right? Sculpture, graven work, or it's an idolatrous image. And like I said, that karak is going to be that syringe, ultimately, the delivery system to deliver the charagma into you. Then go back to the root word of karak, go back to grapho, it's talking about the writings, the information, your information that's going to be within this device that they're going to put inside your body, right? This is repressed for time. I can't really get to those words, but Lord will at a later time we can. But it says verse 17. Oh, wait, to finish that off, it says to receive a charagma in their right hand or their forehead. So this is talking about in the brain, but you can get it in your hands as well. And you can look up people in Sweden, they got it all too. You can look at that 3 square mark in the middle of Wisconsin. This is an actual thing. People are actually already doing this right now before it's ultimately presented to the world to actually have as a requirement to function in society. And it says that no man might buy or sell. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell, ultimately function in society unless you have this, right? And that's the point on that. And I want to get this scripture too, because it's going to be brought to the entire earth. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Ultimately, you keeping the faith within this truth, right? This ultimately talking to who? To the elect, right? Because everybody not going to keep the faith. They ultimately got to be elect, the Israel, to even receive this truth and keep the truth of Yahweh Shema Shai, because it was only given to us. But ultimately, in this time, it's going to be the elect, that remnant that Yahweh Shema Shai has kept, those who will not bow the knee to the image of Baal. The 7,000 men, go to a completion of men, and women too, who are not going to receive this advice. It says, because of why? Because they trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. So because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. So you doing this is ultimately for reward. For what? For the Lord to be your hedge of protection when that time period comes, and you to rely on him, to depend on him to provide for everything that you may need. You're not going to want for nothing if you are a part of his elect. If you trust in him, he got you, right? So he going to keep you from this hour of temptation, right? The hour, pretty much an hour of a test to the people, right? Of temptation to tempt you. They say, which shall come upon all the world, which is oikomene, which is what? The entire inhabited earth. It's going to be presented to everybody to receive. Say, to try them that dwell upon earth. It's ultimately going to try you. It's going to try you to do what? Try you to see, is you going to serve Yahweh Shema Shai, talking to you Israelites, or you going to serve Esau Edom, which is talking, to you, the 2/3, to the Israelites as well, in the rest of the world as well. But we know the ones who are going to be trying, who's going to take it, they 2/3 of the nation of Israel, and these other heathens going to take it too, because to hell with them. It said, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast. Again, hold this truth. Hold your faith. Hold this wisdom, knowledge fast, which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Because if you take this device, your crown will be taken, right? You're not going to be written in the book of life. What's going to happen to you is this. And we're going to end it off right here, because we definitely about to bring it out by the camp. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man, right, or woman, you say man and woman, worship, right, worship, reverence, respect, but trust in, believe in the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead and his hand. Ultimately going to who's the head of this beast, right? Which is the beast who they don't want to eat you. Who is that? So-called white man, Esau, Edom. So if you receive this is you showing your allegiance to Esau, Edom. It says what? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shai, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, right, with the thermonuclear warheads and the concentrated laser beams, in the presence of who? The holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. Because he definitely going to pull up with those holy angels. And those who receive this charagma, who receive this device, you will be destroyed. So if any camp telling you that it's sleeping with a white woman, or it's a trade embargo, or it's just sin, or it's this, or it's that, or it's an actual potato chip, hey, if they telling you that, you need to flee from that congregation, because why? They are leading you astray. And what's going to happen to them for teaching that false doctrine, unless they repent, they're going to be destroyed too. And if you blindly and ignorantly follow them after you've been told what it is, then guess what? You're going to be destroyed too, following after their pernicious ways. That's going to lead you unto destruction, right? So ultimately, that's pretty much all that I got on that, hoping that this lesson was edifying to sincere Akwatham out there listening. Hey, man, trust in, hey, like the Apostle Hard post today, man, GMS has 100% truth. I believe the title goes, and it goes to that Aaron Russo, interview that told him that with Nick Rockefeller, that told you, man, we got this device that we going to put in people that you're going to have to buy or sell. So the apostles, a great millstone, had it right. Also the camps who do follow the same like doctrine, but it started with apostles and elders. They've been right about this for decades, and it's the Spirit of the Lord, that's making it manifest and showing it that they had it right, because they are the true trailblazers, the true leaders of the nation of Israel in this time period, through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So again, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to sincere Akwatham out there listening, right? Don't take this device, right? Believe in Yahweh Shemel Shai. So I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bashir Kakudash, double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abide, Babal.